When this player played with the Woodstock Slammers 12, 13 years ago when I covered him for the Buell Observer as a sports editor, I found he's a very talented guy, very genial, but 13 years later, he went from probably one of the most beloved players of the Woodstock Slammers of the '08 and '09 season to not say a laughing stock, but would you get the death penalty from the NHL? Well, not a SMU collegiate death penalty. It makes international news. Now, John Chayka, the former Arizona Coyotes general manager, has been suspended by the NHL through December 31st of 2021 as part of its ruling on a dispute over his departure from the team last summer. Now, according to many published reports, the league sent a memo to its teams about the decision, saying Chayka engaged in conduct detrimental to the league, breached his obligation to the club, and was properly terminated by the club. Now, this past July, the Coyotes had put out a statement that Chayka allegedly quit on the team and that the club was disappointed by his decision. In his own statement, Chayka, who was 31, said he left the team due to a situation created by ownership. Now, according to Sportsnet, after the split, Elliot Friedman, their main reporter, said that Coyotes owner Alex Morello had asked Bettman to adjudicate the divorce to clarify some contract issues between the two parties. Now, this is where the confusion comes in. Now, at issue was if the Coyotes allowed Chayka to pursue other opportunities. Now, Friedman did report that about 1 month before the divorce, another NHL team reached out to Coyotes asking for permission to speak to Chayka about a job. Now, there's no indication who that might be, but rumor has it might have been a Canadian team. Now, the request was initially denied, but later permitted, and an offer Chayka couldn't refuse was allegedly made. Friedman, in these reports, said the Coyotes made it clear the titles general manager and or president of hockey operations could not be involved to prove that Chayka was not making what's called in the business a lateral move. Now, his tenure with the club came under further scrutiny after hearing on August 6th of last year when the Coyotes acknowledged they had violated the league's combine testing policy during the 2019-20 season by conducting physical testing on draft-eligible players prior to the draft. Now, in layman's terms, the NFL is the same way in different major league associations. You're not allowed to test the players physically without the NHL or the major league having scrutiny or be involved. Now, did he do this on purpose? Did he do this by mistake? It was a terrible decision. Now, eventually, the Coyotes were forced to forfeit their 2020 second-round pick and their 2021 first-round selection for their actions. Now, there was no specific discipline handed down on individuals involved in the case. Now, this past September, the Coyotes replaced Chayka with Bill Armstrong, the former assistant GM of the the former, let me call it up again here. Sorry about that. The former assistant GM, my apologies, of the St. Louis Blues. Armstrong was with the Blues organization for a number of years. Sorry, I'm thinking another Armstrong. I apologize for that. Now, John Chayka, like I said, when he was a youngster, when I used to cover him in New Brunswick, again, I found him a gentleman. I found him to be genial. But when internationally your name is in the mud, now he did become a part of NHL history, but because he became the youngest GM in the annals of the NHL, where he was hired at the age of 26 on May 5th, 2016. He was also named president of hockey operations on July 12th and did sign that big contract with the Coyotes on November 11th, 2019. Now, I don't know if the ruling ties in to the multiple years of Chayka's contract as well. And I think he's locked in, or I'm not a legalese on what is it, there's a payout or whatever. But again, in 2021, they lost two draft picks. Their names through the mud. They literally have lost one of their former head of the team for a full year. All the NHL has lost Chayka's expertise. You can't be a stupid guy and be a GM of an NHL team, because he used to run kind of an analytics group that helped him a little bit with being hired. But I would never think in a million years, 13 years ago, that a player with the Slammers, a first-line player, sometimes a second-line player, in a small AYR Center, Woodstock, New Brunswick, get 1,000 fans, he would go from playing a regular shift in small-town New Brunswick to getting the death penalty from the NHL. Ladies and gentlemen, you never know where community newspapers will take you on a regular basis. By the way, today is Gordie Dwyer's birthday, our Nakwik and Dalhousie NHL player. That's the good news today. I can basically say Gordie has not been blackballed by the NHL. Gordie has coached in a lot of associations, done very well in Russia, in KHL, in the Q leagues, such and such, the Maritime League. Again, that's the good news. The bad news, John Chayka, don't let the door hit you on the ass, because if he does come back to the NHL, I'll be highly, highly, highly surprised. So maybe Europe is calling for John. So, but he's in the burger merchandise business too. So I don't think he's going to be hurting too much. Anyway, that's the story of the